Oh, God. So, the Gnosis. $11,000 commanders ready to jump into an a locked area of space to do something big, something new, something exciting for them. And Frontier decide to do this. I'm not even sitting here mad at the moment. I'm actually more sitting here in disbelief. I cannot believe that they've created all of this for this. And what I mean by this is, if I go into my galaxy map, is that 11,000 people have come together for this. A one jump, basically. Why not have done this at the final point, or at least somewhere in that locked region of, you know, had Thargoids come in and attack? Whether the Thargoids have attacked it as a preemptive thing to stop the jump, maybe. But please, FDev, put some story out there to cover it. Don't just sit it there like this. I'm looking at the moment. I should actually probably put it up. Let me just get it. Actually, no, it'll be in the game anyway, won't it? Go into Starport Services. Nope, I can see stuff going on outside. I can hear stuff going on outside. Okay, here we go. Oh no, that's just got the flight operation details. Okay. So, yeah. Basically, they've had the Thargoids attack the Gnosis, which I was kind of expecting anyway. I was saying last night in stream to everybody, you know, got to understand when we drop in, there's probably going to be this attack by the Thargoids. I was absolutely expecting that because they're trying to put the new Hydras into the game, get people involved with it, even if you want to be passive like myself. But this, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Good afternoon, Ben. Good afternoon, Dave. Good afternoon, Brian. Welcome in. Hello, Christopher. It doesn't make sense to me, this. You're not fulfilling anything that anybody wanted, whether it be people who wanted to really fight the Thargoids. I still don't think they would have wanted to do it here, because that's going to mean that ganking can happen, which apparently it already is as well. It's just a bit naff. I think naff is the best feeling, and I'm sat here. I have no interest in leaving the ship even to have a look at the Thargoids, because I don't know, I don't want to sound like a child here. I don't want to sound like a petulant child or anything, but people do pay money for this game, and kind of this event was put together for that big jump, and I don't understand why they've done it here. It boggles my mind as to why they've stuck it here, and not somewhere else. Even halfway to the jump, even just getting people halfway out there, it doesn't make sense to do it one jump. I mean, if you read the Galnet news, I'll have to bring it up actually because it's not showing properly here. Let's just bring up my... Can I just do it as a browser source? I'm guessing I can. Just get my Galnet news up here. Just give me 1 second, people. I'll do it like that. See if that works. Does it work? Yay! Okay, kinda does. Let's see if we can do this properly. Actually no, that doesn't work. Sorry about that. Let's have a look. I need to take that off now. I wasn't really ready for this stream. I was expecting to do something very, very different. Display capture, no. Window capture. Okay, that's the one. Right, okay, so let's have a quick look at this. I haven't got any porn open, have I? Okay, so let's have a look. It says a scientific research vessel. I'm sure you've all read this. I'm sorry I'm going through it again, but I will. Has been left stranded following a Thargoid attack. The Gnosis, flagship of the Canon Interstellar Research Group, recently made a hyperspace jump towards the cone sector. Well, it didn't, did it? It's jumped one system. It's jumped one system over, which you could have done in a Sidewinder. I'm sorry, but to say that they were doing a hyperspace jump... Bulch. I'm sorry. That is not a hyperspace jump at all. Even a small amount of time, a hyperspace jump should have got us somewhere, or at least, maybe, I don't know, because you go into witch space, maybe the Thargoids pulled it back. I don't know. I don't know about that part at the moment. Sorry, I will get to people in a second. Towards the cone sector, a short time later, the following message was received from Captain Matthias Leander of the Gnosis command crew. We were a short way into our journey when the Gnosis was hyperdicted by a group of Thargoid vessels. The wrench back into real space caused severe internal damage to multiple systems, including the frameshift drive. There's no doubt that we would have been destroyed if not for some of the commanders travelling with us. They lured the Thargoids. Which commanders were these? They lured the Thargoids away while ejecting metalloys from their hordes. Sure they did. The aliens were more interested in scooping up the metalloys than attacking us, so why pull you out of hyperspace? The commanders later reported that the Thargoid vessels were the recently identified Hydra interceptors. So interceptors were collecting metalloys. That doesn't make sense for their job. The Gnosis is currently adrift close to the 8th planet in the O2 ST1D9-6 system. We have begun essential repairs, but there's a risk that the Thargoids may return before we can escape the system. Why not? Why not have that in the cone sector? Cone sector? Where we're going? Right, I'll start looking at some chat now. Give us a second, because I'm probably going to have to roll this back. So I don't know what you all think. I'd be interested to know what you think, Ben, because I've never seen you. I haven't seen you in stream for so long. No, I'm not gonna let it annoy me, Dave. I'll watch it closely and see what's happening, but I have no interest in playing it at the moment. I don't think it's inappropriate, Brian. I think it's pointless. I think it's completely pointless. Yes, if a Thargoid shoots you down, you would rebuy and respawn there. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. You're absolutely right. You need to drop in a USS, yeah, unless they're outside the ship, because apparently they appear outside the ship as well, the Gnosis. Surprise. Brian's getting a drink. So yeah, I mean it feels really, really slack. I think that's the best way to put it. It feels really, really slack. Oh, there's a Thargoid vessel outside. Let's have a look. Have I got my Xeno scanner? I'll put that on 1. Let's go have a look at this. I might get blown up, but... Oh, has it disappeared now, has it? That makes sense. Aye. Reverse. So it seems like even the Thargoids aren't that bothered about hanging around here, so... I'm just going to make my way up to this part near the engine. And then I'm going to sit here and see if any Thargoids actually drop in. There is something somewhere here showing up. Thargoid vessel, there we go. Where is it? Ah, there you go. I'm hoping to get a quick look at it before it attacks. There you go. So I can't even really get in range to scan it. I can't even get within range to give it a scan. Every time I try and scan him, he gets too far away. So I was hoping that even maybe getting a scan on him. I know this is like... Right? I was hoping to get a scan, but that's obviously really not gonna... Oh, there's a bigger one somewhere. Oh, there's a lot of them. Holy camoli, there you go. Yeah, I was just trying, Brian. Just giving it a go. See what happened. So, let's have a look. So, obviously, I'm going to rebuy. Kicking off. So, yeah, that kind of shows what it's like. There's like 1 million Thargoid vessels out there. I don't know if Brian's inside the ship or outside the ship, but there you go. It's kind of like Thargoid vessel, Thargoid vessel. There's just a wall of them. So, I think it's a case of just getting off the ship and getting out, really. Or sitting on the ship and waiting for whatever happens. So, let's just go back a little bit. It seems a really pointless part of it. I don't know if it's to try and pull everybody here to save the Gnosis, which isn't going to happen, I doubt. What the hell was that? I wasn't looking at my screen. Incoming caustic missile. Nice one. I'm going to let them attack the Gnosis while I'm sat in here. I think I'm pretty safe. I'm just trying to find... apparently, FDev have talked about this, so I am just having a quick look. And, you know, there's some people complaining, saying, you know, they feel like FDev have lured all the explorers into the ship. I don't know. There's people saying that it might try and make the jump next week, but if it's badly damaged and it's constantly under attack from Thargoids, I don't understand how that's going to happen. This kind of whole thing of not being able to get off the ship because the Thargoid's out there while you're in a exploration ship. I don't know. It's one of those things. You know when I've said it before, and I've said it a lot of time in streams. There's just so many things FDev do where you sat there going, did they think about this? Did they truly think this through? Or were they sat in a tea room one day and going, you know what? You know what would be really funny? Sometimes it feels like your part, or the community's part of this inside joke. That's how it feels sometimes to me. You know, with the bad news about the fleet carriers, I think this week... with the cancellation of the fleet carriers, you'd think that this week they could have kind of made this really good for everybody. So and yeah, I'm thinking, you know, why didn't they kind of make this happen in the corn sector when we were kind of we weren't, but when we were locked in, because then they could have turned around and made it a kind of, we told you so, you know, there's a reason we have permit locks, there's a reason you're not allowed to go. It would have played a bit more to the narrative. So I don't know. I'm just okay. There are some responses from Will, so I'm just gonna check it out. Okay. So it's in black and white here. And this is what really ticks me off. So I'm gonna bring this up so you can all see it. And this is actually on the official FDev boards. This is what really ticks me off completely. I'm just gonna say this. Zach Antonacci, head of communication, says, somebody said, so does this mean the core sector journey won't be happening? From the tone of the post, it sounded like this was an alternative to that, and that it's almost over. And they've answered, just to clarify from the above post, the area of space cone sector that the Gnosis was aiming to jump to was never a location that was able to jump to. We were never told that. This is because the location is specifically meant to be used for future narrative. That's fine. You could have just had something happen in that little sector. Don't understand. Still don't understand. That's the reason why the initiative from the community was weaved into the actual lore of the game. I don't understand how it was properly weaved into the lore of the game. Look, FDev need to understand there's people been sat here for a week. A week. Doing stuff in these systems, wanting to do this, to come up with this type of reply is, in my opinion, just, it's not the way to treat people. Let's see the next one. Here it says, this is from Will Flanagan, who you see in the streams all the time. So he says, greetings commanders, as you and others may have noticed in the early hours of the morning, a Galnet article on our community site revealed the future fate of the Gnosis jump towards the cone sector. However, the intended jump was to take place at the normal time of the server tick, However, this was not the case and has caused a disparity between the news commanders were able to read and the actions that took place in the game. That doesn't make sense. Am I reading that wrong? And has caused a disparity between the news commanders. What? Yeah, that's not English. Okay, unless I'm not reading it right. We are aware that this caused a number of commanders to express their discontent that the news that was announced and the fate of the Gnosis epic. That doesn't make sense. Can he write? Or is it me? Is my head not working? After seeing this morning's feedback, we want to take the opportunity to explain a little more about the event as a whole and how these actions are playing out right now in the game world, the galaxy. Canon High Command reached out to us to plan the next jumps for the Gnosis. The destination, the Cone Sector FN, blah 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 to be precise. That's okay. Without revealing too much about this area of space, the Cone Sector both in content and in game lore was always meant to be locked off. That's fine, to an extent. And the fact that certain systems within the sector weren't permit locked was an oversight on our part. So why accept it from Canon? If it was an oversight on your part, you can say, hey, you know what, that's an oversight on our part, no, you can't jump there. A time before it was possible for megaships to make this jump. This might be why fleet ships have been taken out. I'm being serious. Based on the feedback we've received in the past and an aim to involve player agency in the Elite Dangerous narrative, rather than simply making a universal change or flicking a switch to permit lock the systems in question, as God modding, known in the community as God modding, we decided to incorporate the actions of a great Elite Dangerous player group and a huge number of commanders into the wider lore of the game, supporting the event as best we could with our own channels while reacting to an emergent piece of content from the community. Again, why not let it jump halfway there then, boys? This doesn't make sense to me. You could have still let it get halfway there and had it somewhere out in deep space where a lot of people haven't been. Working with Canon's event in mind, we decided to weave the event into the large game narrative and the arrival of a threatening new Thargoid variant, the terrifying Hydra that some commanders woefully encountered recently. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little bit of a look back over the chat for a second. So I'm going to have to close that one. See what everybody's thinking at this, because I'm not even playing the game right now. Okay, so let's have a look. Welcome in, Citizen 1994. Basically, the ship didn't jump, or it did jump, but it only jumped one system because in game lore it was attacked by Thargoids. In reality, what it turns out is that Canon wanted to jump into a certain sector because they found the permit region unlocked. FDev agreed to it, but actually they never intended for it to go ahead, so they've weaved it into the game lore, as they say. Seems rather pointless from my experience. Many people that play the game aren't going to be overly impressed and flat ignore it, much like most of the content associated with the guides. Exactly, Christopher. No, well, Dave, I actually agree with them on that. I do agree with FDev on that. If that system was supposed to be permit locked and it was an accident on their part, that's acceptable. I understand that mistakes happen. But to say that we didn't want to God lock it, again, I honestly think it sounds like they realised it wasn't locked and they're sat in the tea room and gone, oh, we can make this into an event to promote the game. But promoting what? It's hi Dale Winton. I know it's not the real Dale Winton, but don't bother coming back. Don't bother coming back. It's not going to make the jump. It's not going to go into that area of space. So it's not going to happen. Yeah, I would call upon everybody to let it burn. Not because I don't like Canon or anything, but to send a message to FDev and just say, you know what, we're not going to help with this crap. Yeah, they could have said to Canon. They could have just said to Canon, no, you can't jump into that region. We didn't realise it was unlocked. Canon, I don't think Canon come out with their intended journeys until FDev accept it anyway. Like I say, I think they were sat in a tea room and they thought this will be really fun. But fun for who? Fun for who? You know, it's like I said, it's bad storytelling, or it feels like bad storytelling. It feels like people who don't want us as players to have fun. If they'd have just called this off at the very beginning, Canon would have been able to choose a different direction. They're saying they're doing it to show off the guides, but the majority of people who are here in the ship are not interested in Thargoids, apart from Brian. It's just so bad. Such a bad idea. Really bad idea on their part. So, you know, as they keep saying, blaze your own path. Don't rely on them. Don't rely on them for anything. You're going to have to blaze your own path. By the way, my player group still hasn't been looked at, even though they said they'd get back to me in 24 hours in the 2 tickets I've raised with them. I sound like such a bitch. Oh, it's disappointing. I mean, at the end of the day, let's redo this route because it really needs plotting back. Yep, I totally get you, Dale. I totally get you. So yeah, I think that's pretty much probably what I'm going to do, Brian. I'm not going to be involved with this part of it. I'm going to wait till these guides all bugger off. I might have to go into solo to do it. I think if you go into solo, Brian, and log in and just get out the system as fast as you can, then it might be all right. You know, copy and paste, FDev, copy and paste. They're just... Yeah, you could. I mean, you could send a ticket. Do you know what, Christopher? I've been saying it to people constantly that No Man's Sky is very cartoony, but in other areas it hands down kicks the ass of Elite Dangerous. And it was written by a few people in a room. You know, if you want to blaze your own path, that's fine. Grab metal from Planet If. Yeah, maybe Dave. So yeah, it's again, FDev don't surprise. Well, they do surprise me, but for the wrong reasons. I've never known. You know, they're talking about future. They're talking about future story and future this, that, and the other, but they might not have people playing in the future. If there's people who've wasted a week of their life this week, you know, getting prepared and getting ready for this, and then I mean, some of them have probably gone to school, gone to work, and not really paid attention to it, and they come home ready to play, and they find this narrative. Some people would turn the game off forever. I've always said, well, once I get so angry with a game, I generally sell it or turn it off forever. So, let's just go on with what Will said. He's put, so what's happened so far? The Canon called for commanders to join them in the expedition, so they're blaming it on Canon. to the cone sector to make history in the name of both exploration and science. Meanwhile, across the other areas of the galaxy, some commanders reported sightings of what they believe to be a new Thargoid variant, later confirmed and classified by Aegis as and the Pilots Federation as the Hydra. With this growing uncertainty, the Pilots Federation reported that the jump to the cone sector was not safe. They did, and advised and urged commanders to steer clear of any journeys there with permit-locked systems. Which, again, that's them basically saying, well, we kind of warned you. We warned you within game law. We didn't warn you outside the game law, but we warned you within the law of the game. But again, take us halfway there, then have the Hydras attack the ship. I could have accepted. I really could have accepted that. The thing that's really bugging me is one jump. Can't get it out of my head. Despite these warnings, Cannon would still make the jump into the unknown, and with them approximately 11,000 commanders from all walks of life, allegiances and states pledged to this legendary expedition. Whether driven by pursuit of knowledge, fearlessness, or perhaps even madness, they pledged their ship and soul to the future of the Gnosis. This morning, as the Galnet article explained, moments into its groundbreaking jump towards the cone sector, the Gnosis has been left stranded following a massive Thargoid attack. Now, we are aware that the premature release of the Galnet article caused speculation and concern from the community. Of course it did. But what's it matter that it got out there quicker? At least some people found out sooner. It spoke of events that had not yet happened and had any consequences. No, it didn't have any consequence on the game because it was done. And as this occurred in the early hours of the morning, had no explanation from the team. We have investigated why the article went live at the wrong time and corrected the community site's Galnet's newsfeed so that it won't break embargo in the future. Who gives a damn? We're also aware that there are a few issues causing problems for commanders at the current location. The team are actively investigating correcting these issues. Some of these issues are already fixed while others are being addressed. Still fixing stuff. We would like to thank all the commanders who provide the feedback. See, they're saying people who've been detained could be moved back to the Gnosis. I don't know if they'd want to be. I don't know, it all seems silly. Very silly. Silly, silly, silly. Let's go back to the chat. Let's see what people are saying. So let me. But I feel really bad for you, Dale, because it's your type of work and your type of preparation that you've put into it. I turned up 20 minutes before bedtime last night. It really didn't matter to me, but for people like you who've put all this work into it, it's so sad. You could, I guess you could go into silent running. I don't know if the Hydras actually react to that. Yeah, I'm not arguing with you, Christopher. I actually, like I say, in some ways the game hands down beats this game. I can't stand the flight controls of it. I really can't. But what I do love is going onto planet surfaces, mining stuff, finding new species. I love it. Very good point, Brian. Very good point. Both you and as Dale saying he spent 100 million, but they don't want to waste our time. So let's have a look. Let's see. Are the Thargoids still outside? Sorry, Brian. I think you sent me a request. I'm gonna see if I can get out of here without having to pay another £700,000. They won't give you anything, Dave. They won't give you anything. They've basically said it in the support. They're not interested. Not interested in anything. They're obviously not interested. They're trying to cover their own backs by saying it's kind of Cannon's fault. lot of goids around here, so I'm gonna try and... Maybe you can get away from them then. Let's see what the systems around it are like, or whether it's just Thargoids attacking that specific system. So what do people think? I mean, I can understand some people are very angry. I totally feel you on that. It's not a very nice thing to happen, to be honest. And you know, I think FDev are kind of using a bit of a get out of jail free card there. I don't think that's the case, Christopher. I do think they care about the game, and I do think they care about the community. I think what it is, I've said it before, I think that the people who are working on the game at the highest levels don't seem to understand truly what it is to make a game of this magnitude. I don't think they understand how to keep us interested. I don't think they understand how to put content into it correctly, and in some cases they don't even seem to know what they're doing in programming wise. This game is so broken half the time and needing to be fixed constantly. It's not a new game. By now most games would have gone platinum with all the fixes, you know. This game by now, with any other game, would have gone platinum and fixed everything. I understand. Yeah, I think they do. I think you're absolutely right, Christopher. I think we should all find Sandy, strap him into a chair, and force him to scan frameshift wakes at the lowest dropped point possible. I'd be very interested what even people like Obsidian Ant take on it, who generally have a heck of a lot of patience. Like I said, I feel that they've just I think they've just kind of tried to weave it into lore, but see, I think they all have the mentality of kind of like the gankers do. I can imagine them sat in the tea room going, oh yeah, if we can get a few thousand people there just sitting there in the ship and they don't know what's going to happen to them, but we do because it's an inside joke. You know, by the way, where's my snake? Maybe that's how they think, but I don't know. It's, I'm still kind of shaking my head at it. Even if it had happened, like, I don't know, 3,000 light years away, and then they were like, well, you wanted to explore, you're going to have to make it back to the bubble because this ship's crippled. There's a storyline for you. I don't know why they've done it this way. Just don't know why. Don't know why. So I'm just gonna try and keep. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep flying, and then I'm gonna keep going back to the boards and seeing what some people are saying. funny you should say that, Dale. I've tried to put my playgroup in the game, and I'm trying to get a faction sorted out, and they're just ignoring it at the moment. I don't know if they've got bigger fish to fry. This game is David Braben's baby. They know they've got a huge player base. 11,000 people they have. This is what really grabs my goat. 11,000 people they've got, apparently, sitting in the Gnosis. 11,000 people. If this was Ubisoft, or God forbid, even EA, with 11,000 people sat playing the game at one point, they would be organising something huge. Something huge. Well, I don't mind Space Legs. If it comes, it comes. But, you know, Space Legs could make certain things different, but, you know, God knows what problems that would bring. Oof, we're hitting some dud systems here. So I'm going to kind of go back towards the bubble. I'm not going to be streaming. I'm not going to be streaming forever today, because I just have no interest really in playing at the moment, if I'm brutally honest. Like everybody else, I'll just sit back and watch the fallout. Thank God Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming. Thank God. You know what, a lot of people I'm seeing on the boards is a lot of people saying, okay, well, I'm turning the game off until it's all over. That's sad. It's not actually people arguing. They're not stressing out or getting angry. They're just saying, you know what, I've got other games. There's other games to play. Could be worse. We could be Star Citizen players. Never forget. We could be Star Citizen players. 20 grand in. Yeah. You know, it could be that bad. It could be that bad. You've always got to remember, never forget. Oh. That is a water world. And if this is... I don't know if this is a K. If this is a K... because I don't think I've changed my particulars. Hey Cody, how's it going? I know I've been moaning today, people, but my streams are genuinely normally much more laid back, so if you've enjoyed it in any way, do hit that like button, because normally I'm not pissing and moaning. I have a little bit here and there, but it's generally... Yes, I did hit a K system. Is it going to prove me wrong though here? How many jumps have we got back? 22 jumps back. Okay, I don't think it's going to be terraformable. It's probably too hot. Prove me wrong. No, didn't prove me wrong. It is a water world, but not terraformable. Okay. Next system. So I think it's going to be time to do something big. I'm just reading somebody's put boo FDev. That's just their answer. That's brilliant. I love that. I mean, Lave Radio were too busy in a fight at the moment, so I mean, we could all turn our attention to Lave, couldn't we, Nibbler? If you're hanging around. Yeah, the poor bastards. Too many ice worlds here, I think. They've also apparently they've part of the storyline has pissed off the Alliance fan base as well, so they've managed to upset two different player groups in one day. I think that's pretty funny. I've said it before, the lunatics overtook the asylum. Brian, I need to go get yttrium at some point if I'm going to make a big exploration. Well, I've never been to Beagle Point. I've never circumnavigated the and I've never met Marshall Westing yet. So sorry, Pete. I'm trying to read, speak, and fly at the same time. Oh. Unfortunately, it has been tagged by somebody else, and it's only a water world. He says only a water world. Couple of quid. It'll be alright. The worry for me is that Canon might get a lot of Canon might get a lot of backlag on the backlog. Is that even a word? Oh, sorry, Brian. I've missed something. Will I share what? What have I missed? Oh, I've overshot it. I had a feeling I'd overshoot it there. My mats? What, the polonium and stuff? If you need them, yeah. Why, was I nicking them all yesterday? You said you didn't need anything yesterday. I just took everything. Get out. Bloody fly. Trying to dance in my face. Okay, terraformable. So we've got a high metal content here as well. Should be terraformable too. Get away! I'm just, you know, I'm trying to think of the amount of time. 11,000 people. What, minimum of 2 hours play has been wasted. So 22,000 hours of playtime. It's kind of been thrown in the bin. You know? And that to me is... Whoops. That's hard. Oh, Brian sent a message. What'd that say? Whoops. It's gonna jump, isn't it, before I can read it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Brian. I was thinking of kind of heading off out into the black and just, I don't know, making up some streams. I'm gonna have to really have a look at my Anaconda. And see whether it's capable of doing it. I'd like to do it in the Diamondback. I really would. But the Diamondback, I can't put anything extra on there. The only other thing about mining is, out in the black, you're always gonna have stuff drop in on you. And you're playing a really dodgy game with all that stuff. I wouldn't mind finding some interesting planets. I wouldn't mind doing that. I'll have to think about it. At the moment, I'm really kind of... don't know if I want to give... Yeah, mine doesn't really, Brian, though. Oh, here we go. So another water world. Oops. Don't know what I'm on today. Fuel scoop disengaged. This is just over the marker, I think, but we'll hope that we can get on it. Greetings, Bob. How's it going? So, You just eating popcorn, are you, Bob? Oh crap, I over bloody shot it, haven't I? Okie doke, there we go. So I'm just reading. There's people kind of trying to protect FDev, saying people would have complained if they'd have locked those regions, and what I'm saying is that's complete and utter nonsense. They could have written that into the storyline. The Pilots Federation or somebody else could have said, "Nope, you're not going there. We've locked it." Oh, it's not terrifying. I knew it was just over the edge anyway.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yes, another regular. Well, it's what happens when you're trying to read people in stream, read chat in some message boards and things. No astronomical objects here.
Warning, temperature critical. Frameshift drive charging.
Thargoid cult, yeah. It's not that you quit. I know a few people who used to come in this stream who were really into the game, and they've all got burnt out from it now. And it seems like, you know, they were really into it, but they were more into like the storyline and the engineering and everything, and then they've kind of gone and got mats and done everything they need to do, and then the story doesn't really keep up with them, and then they've just gone, you know what, this game's just too much for me. It does sometimes feel like a second day job, especially in the early days when I used to stream. I used to stream 5 hour plus, 5, 6, 7 hour streams sometimes.
Frameshift drive charging.
You know, so it's a lot to be doing, and that's that might, I don't know. Crap on a stick. I don't know if it is. No, it's not. Bloody boo boo. I've forgotten how to spot the other Ring of Failure's alright.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'm just scanning for stuff, Bob, and then I'm gonna have a look at my ships when I get back. And then I'm going to work out the next part of my life.
Fuel scooping complete.
Might start by getting one. We never know.
Warning. Temperature critical. Frameshift drive charging.
Like I said, this isn't really a proper stream. This is just me kind of going home. Back to the Buble. And then we'll work out once I'm back in the bubble. We'll work out what's going to happen.
Fuel scooping.
Get a life. A wife? God no. Not at the moment. Barely afford to look after myself. I don't want to take somebody out for dinner.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping.
Okay, 26. Oh, I can imagine that. Well, that's the other part about the griefers and everything coming in and jumping on it. It's very sad. Kind of understand that for their way of playing that they want to do it. But
Frameshift drive.
yeah, I mean, don't feel like you have to need to stay in the stream. As I say, I'm probably going to stream till I get back to the bubble. If anybody wants to piss and moan, I'll certainly have my input on it. And then I'm going to go back to doing something interesting. And I'll see tonight. I'll probably stream, and we'll see from there. Yes, yeah, I know that, Bob. Well, they didn't actually. They inferred it through the arrival of the Hydras being spotted by other commanders. It was kind of inferred that they'd be there. People thought they would be there at the jump-in point. Like I've said, I know you've just joined in the stream, so I'll give you my 2 cents on it. I'm angry that they actually just basically moved the Gnosis 1 system and then wrote this crappy little piece in Galnet and had the Thargoids attack the ship, and that's their idea of storyline. I've read, you know, they've come back and said, hey, those areas are permit locked. We never intended to let Cannon go in there. We decided to build storyline around it instead. So they're kind of saying, well, it's our game, we'll do what we want, and we don't care about you. They're trying to say that if they'd have locked those regions, because those regions were an accident, if they'd have locked them when Cannon came forward to request a move to them, that people would have moved, that they would have moaned that they were god modding. I don't know, I think people who've been sat in the Gnosis for over a week are probably wouldn't have minded a bit of god modding. And when you say read between the lines, Bob, a lot of people don't read that much information in game, you know, unfortunately. There's people still thinking it's going to be a CG, but I don't think it is going to be a CG. I think the Thargoids will stop attacking it, it'll get fixed itself, and then it'll just continue on in Cannon's, wherever Cannon want it to go. 44. Like I said, if they'd have dropped it out of hyperdrive somewhere in the black, I think people might have reacted better to it. I think. Alright, see you later, Dill. Thanks for dropping in. Sorry, just 1 second. I'm just
Frameshift drive charging.
Well, it's hard to keep up with this chat. People are going absolutely crazy all over the place. Am I not home yet? 7 jumps? Are you kidding me? 7 jumps? Seven jumps.
Scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, 23. Might be alright to have a quick look at. Let's see, might be just a few too many, but... Oh, I don't know. That could be a hidden one. Probably not.
Scooping complete.
No, it's a nice world. Damn it.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oops, a daisy. He's not the only one, Bob. There is a lot of people really unhappy. One interesting thing is the Gnosis was pulled out of hyperspace next to an ammonia world. Don't know what it means, but I did notice that. So, is that the home world? I think, and what a lot of people have brought up also, Bob, is that this is a combat event, but they knew for a long time that there was really just explorers going, and maybe a few people with protection detail. But. And the fact that the story got released early. Hey, it's around somewhere in stream as well, by the way. I know, but the Gnosis actually got pulled out next to one, that's all. an interesting tidbit, if you will. I can't keep up with these message boards. They're filling up too much. Okay, we're back in system. Oh, we're getting back in system. Maybe a jump away, so 4 jumps to my hometown.
Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging.
Oh. Ah, right. Okay, Brian. Then I don't need a thingamajig. Oh, I really have to think about going to the shop at some point.
Frameshift drive charging.
And I don't know about you, but the Gnosis doesn't look damaged. It didn't to me when I flew outside. I hate this one. This is the ship eater, I call this one. You have to come in at a crazy angle because the orbit line of it. See where the orbit line is there? It's a horrible, horrible black hole, this one. Black hole. You have to be so careful with it. The lines don't even show up half the time. That's the worst part of it. Come on, supercharge. Supercharged. Okay, got me 77 light year jump now then.
Frameshift drive charging.
And then this one, I don't actually need to use it. I can fly over this one. Now, I don't know if... Have I tagged this one before? Yes. She's a shooter. Hey Malcolm, how's it going? I bet you're licking your lips, aren't you? You're gonna have to bring Thargoid Sunday forward. Oh, unidentified signal source there.
Frameshift drive charging.
Nothing really, Malcolm. The Gnosis got pulled out of its jump. It said in the Galnet news that it was after some time, but it wasn't. It was pretty much off the bat. It's only jumped one system over. A lot of unhappy people in and out of the game. I don't know. It's a really strange choice by FDev. There's a lot of fallout from this. A lot of fallout. You know, you never, I mean, there's a true saying, you're never ever gonna please your player base. But having basically 11,000 exploration type players on a ship waiting to go explore and to turn it into a fighting thing, I still don't know where the thinking was behind that. Oh, we're gonna have to keep it down. No, there'll be no CG. There'll be no CG. It's fine. Because the Gnosis doesn't count properly as a normal ship, so I don't think they can even do a CG with it. It's not like when Obsidian Ant's orbital was attacked. There's a bit slight difference on it, so. CG, I think, is just the regular CG. That was going to be done this week anyway. A few ships in this area. A bit of traffic. Well, that was the thing. There wasn't. The people weren't sure. I mean, most of the people on that ship were exploration people. I think there was a few people there going along to see if there were Thargoids and whatnot. And it was. I mean, I expected. I kind of expected it to be attacked. I just didn't expect it to happen where it did, when it did, and how it was, but. It was a strange choice. Do I go in on the right or the left? I've forgotten. Sorry. I am going. I am going. I didn't notice, Commander Stewart. I'll have a look at it. Try that again, ladies and gents. Too low here. Too low? Too far across. Try one more time. Landing pad 36. Okay. Oh. Well, they are... Because they messed up with the Gnosis, they are trying to fix some things on the fly. They have said that. Let's have a look. I need to pay for my fines so I can get it back. Let's have a look at the mission board. Who's saying 1 credit? 1 credit for a mission? No. Really? No. Really? No. Boom time delivery 108 units. Seems everything seems alright here. Good boom time money actually. Should have thought about that. Blue United Services in full control. Moromi Corp and everybody being pushed down, which is good. Oh, that's good. Okay, so this is my home system of my play group. Right, oh crap, I need to press that one. So, there we go, there we go, there we go. Bit of advanced maintenance, we'll do the ship integrity up. And we'll do the paint up as well. And I'm going to sell my universal cartographies here. Let's see what we got. What did I predict? 5 million or something. So we got 2.2. 2.2. Right, okay, people. I'm going to call it a day on the stream for the time being. I don't really have an interest in playing at the moment. I will... Yeah, there might have been actually. I'll have to have a look at that. I thought it was paying out a bit too much, Stuart, but you never quite know what their thinking is. Obviously, you have to pay for the source material as well. So, okay, so yeah, I'm going to just call it a day on the stream at the moment. I'd like to thank everybody for joining in. I know it's not a really good time for everybody, and maybe some people are a little bit upset about what's happened. All I'll say is take a deep breath, maybe turn the game off for a couple of hours, and have you just come in, Darren? Sorry, it wasn't intended to be a long stream today, and I've already done like over an hour, so I can't do anything short, can I? But I'll come back on later tonight and do a little bit. I think I'll do a little bit of something. We'll work something out, okay? So thanks for joining in, and keep your temperatures down and enjoy the fallout, okay? See you later, 9-7.